Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
Greetings, sports fans. Welcome to BCN Sports on the Boundary. We do have a name. I did the first episode of this new show yesterday, and it was called The Cricket Show. And we received quite a few name recommendations from listeners. So it's gonna be on the Boundary from here on in. By the way, my name is Benton Lawson to be exact. This is BCN Sports on the Boundary, a cricket-focused show solely on cricket. And as promised yesterday, I did say I would jump on. I will do a quick update, a quick video on the final game between Australia and India in that ODI series, the third of game in that ODI series. So this is that video. I will also take a look at the Women's World Cup semi-finalists. The semifinals are set, I think, for the most part. So I can go ahead and tell you those semifinal matchups. And also, regarding the Women's World Cup, we'll look at a very impressive performance from Alana King of Australia. She was absolutely fantastic. Record-breaking numbers. So those are the things that's on the agenda, on the schedule for this episode of On the Boundary. All right, before we get into cricket, a few things, just a couple announcements, a couple things I want to say. In the Caribbean, the people who are in the path of whether it's tropical storm, based on projections, it should be upgraded to Hurricane Melissa here in a few hours if it haven't already been upgraded. Just people, please be safe. Those in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean, we saw rainfall in Haiti and in Dominican Republic, and the projected path is to pass over Jamaica. And it's a slow-moving hurricane based on the experts. So you should see a lot of rain. And, people just be safe. Be safe out in them streets and button down and make sure you have enough resources and things to to take care of or sustain you for the time that you might not have access to stores or such a thing. And as someone who went through Hurricane Gilbert, I think in 1988, just prepare accordingly. You don't know. And then, so that was the first thing, and that's the most important thing I will say today, is just regarding anything I say, prepare and plan accordingly and just stay safe in the path of Hurricane Melissa. You don't know. Caribbean people want to see all the ones and ones in good spirits after this and coming out in one. Don't know. Sending love to the family. All right. The final announcement and big, a little less significant is Liverpool fans. Don't panic yet. Don't jump off the cliff. Calm down, Liverpool fans. Of course, Liverpool fans probably tomorrow will curse me out after they watch this video. Liverpool dropped their fourth consecutive defeat in the English Premier League after they just suffered a 3-2 defeat to Brentford. The man and Arne Slot, coach of Liverpool, they see it hot. Liverpool fans are putting him under some serious pressure, and rightfully so. Because some of those things that's going on at Liverpool, big money Liverpool, don't make no sense. So they suffered a 3-2 defeat today against Brentford. So tomorrow on Ball Chat Weekly at 5 p.m. Eastern, we'll do a deep dive. Big up Junior, big up Camon. The entire family should be here. Maybe Camon is going to be out and about doing refereeing, but Junior will be here, of course. Manchester United had a great weekend. So tomorrow at 5 p.m., we'll do our recap show on the week that was in the world of football. Liverpool fans, forward, get your therapy session in place. And tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., tomorrow as in Sunday, the 26th, we'll also have a watch along of El Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid at what, 11:30 or 11 a.m. I don't remember exactly the time. All right, I took up enough of on the boundaries time to talk about football and other things. But again, the most important thing I will say, and I've said so far regarding anything in this recorded episode, is that the people of the Caribbean, Jamaicans, Dominicans, passing already, parts of Haiti has been affected also by this wide hurricane Melissa. Yo, take care of yourself. Be safe. Button down. Get some water. Get a bunch of dirty girl. Okay, yeah, Jamaicans are doing what I mean. Tin mackerel. Get all these things that can sustain you for the days. And all the ones that will be doing the cleanup and the repair. Be safe out in them streets. Just take care of yourself, family. All right, let's move on to the actual show. The original intent of this video is on the boundary. Let's get to it. 6 minutes in. All right. The cricket show, or on the boundary, as we want to call it, BCN Sports on the boundary. Let's start off with the Australia versus India series. The ODI series wrapped up last night, and yesterday I emphasized that Australia has never defeated India in a clean sweep. Australia has never clean sweep India in a bilateral series. So they were looking to make history. Entering into the third ODI, Australia took a 2-0 lead. So, and I did say Coach Gambier and Reina and others were under the spotlight. Man called Virat Kohli made 2 golden ducks leading into the third ODI. Now, what did all the people that I criticized last night or in the first video or in the previous video did? They told me to shut the hell up with their performances. They told me to shut the hell up with their performances. India won the game and won the game emphatically. Australia won the toss, decided to bat first, posted 236 from their allotted overs, 236 from their allotted 50 overs. Australia was 196 for 5 in the 36th over in this game, and somehow they were restricted or bowled out for 236. That does not bode well. It doesn't sit well, I think, with the Australian fan base. Though they won the series, that was a bit concerning, and I'm sure Captain Mitch Marsh and the coaching staff are a little bit concerned about that. He did mention it, as in Captain Mitch Marsh did mention it at the post-match press conference, that they were 196 for 5 in the 36.5 overs. I think at the time Renshaw was on 50 or 52, and he got out, and then the bottom fell out for Australia. So 236 for Australia. I give you some figures here regarding the Australian batting in this game, and the top scorers for this Australian team in this 236 score. Of course, India won the game by 9 wickets. Matt Renshaw made 56, so it wasn't much short that was on in the 50s. It was Matt Renshaw. He made 56 for Australia. He was a top scorer. Mitchell Marsh made 41. They had a pretty good start, as in the Australians, with Travis Head and Mitchell Marsh doing pretty well at the top of the order. Travis Head was going gun blazing, and he was caught by Krishna. Nice catch too. Nice catch by Krishna. When I saw Travis Head was going a bit very aggressive, and we know Travis Head, once he takes off, he takes off. So Australia made 236, bowled out for 236. Indian bowlers, Mohammad Siraj won 1 wicket in his 5 overs, but most importantly, he was very economical, 4.8 runs and over. Mankal Reina, the band that I criticized, and I said I don't know if he has the quality to play in this ODI series, he told me, shut up with his performance. He was absolutely outstanding. This is the performance you need from Ashish Reina. 8.4 overs, 39 runs, 4 wickets. His economy was 4.5. And so that is top level, high level sort of ODI bowling, taking wickets and being very economical. So, Reina, big up yourself, man. Reina, big up yourself, because I was very critical in the first episode and you of On the Boundary, and you were outstanding last night. Prasad Krishna, he picked up 1 wicket. He was a bit expensive, definitely very expensive, for 52 runs in the 7 overs. Kuldeep Yadav did get a play in this game. Many of us thought that Kuldeep should have played in the second ODI, but he wasn't. He didn't play in that second ODI. He was an important part of this thing. An additional spinner sometimes helped to slow these Australian batsmen down. So he bowled 10 overs, took up 1 wicket, and he had an economy of 5 runs. Axar Patel, his 6 overs went for 18 runs, 1 wicket. And Washington Sundar, his 10 overs went for 44 runs for 2 wickets. So India bowlers definitely did an excellent job in the middle part of the Australian innings. Again, I cannot emphasize enough. Australia had a very good start. They were looking to launch off in the 36th over, 35th over. I mean, Renshaw was set on 56 thereabout. He was looking to launch off. The Indian bowlers kept Australia batsmen in check during those middle overs. So big up yourself. This is why Australia was restricted to 236 bowled out. So 236 bowled out in 46.4 overs. So clearly, I'm not happy with the fact that you've gotten bowled out there by the Indian bowlers. Aussies will not be happy. But the talk of the night was the reply from India. I mean, India batsmen showed up and showed out. I said on the previous episode, an emphasis is the middle order of Indian batsmen have failed and have failed miserably in the first 2 games. But they showed up and they showed out last night. The Indian batsmen, they didn't really need to bat. A lot of them didn't need to come to the crease because it was handled by 3 batsmen in particular. In the reply, India, Rohit Sharma, 121 not out from 125 deliveries. He got man of the match and he got man of the series. Now he made 202 runs over the entire series. Big up yourself to Rohit Sharma. We'll dive a little bit more on Rohit Sharma here in a second. Shubman Gill made 24 runs. He gave a pretty good start with Rohit Sharma. A very good start by Shubman Gill. Virat Kohli, the legend himself, made 74 runs from 81 deliveries after 2 golden ducks in the first 2 ODIs. I think Virat Kohli reminded me and reminded those who questioned him in the last episode. Some of us questioned him, and those who questioned his inclusion in this team, he reminded us he still got it. Both him and Rohit Sharma batted beautifully. Yo, the wickedest thing is that I think it was Virat Kohli played a straight drive off Mitchell Starc. Virat Kohli played this straight drive so elegant, back past Mitchell Starc. It's one of the most beautiful shots for me in cricket to watch. Some people like the extra cover. Some people like the hook shot for off a bouncer. I love the straight drive back behind the ball, back past the bowler for 4 runs. That it was impressive batting, and you can demonstrate when you see him doing stuff like that. You can tell that Virat Kohli was in his element last night. So it was a pleasure to watch him bat. And it's always a pleasure to watch him when he's in taking full flight. Well, when he's doing that against other teams, of course, not against the West Indies. It's always a pleasure to see him and Rohit Sharma bat doing well against other teams, not the West Indies. We have to make sure because, that is my team. And I don't want him to do well against my team. So Australia took the series 2-1. Very good victory for the Australian team. Positives and negatives looking at both of these teams. The positive for the Australians, first and foremost, is that they won the series. This is something that was important to them. They won the series. I think they suffered a series defeat against South Africa coming into this series. So this series victory is an important thing for them. And also, secondly, another positive for them, I thought they were able to bed and gave valuable experience to the next generation of Australian players. Connolly, Eric, I don't remember his first name. Has been let me see if I find his first name. Cooper Connolly has been a very good bright spot here for Australia. Matthew Short has been a very bright spot. So I mean, you really, and Nathan Ellis did okay with the ball. I mean, so I think from Australia perspective is a couple of things. Winning the series, of course, is a positive. These young players, Matthew Short, Cooper Conley, these next generation, our next group of players is going to be important as Australia get ready for the ODI World Cup in 2027. So that is important. And also, I think another big positive for Australia is Josh Hazelwood's bowling. He bowled very, very good. Now, in the first two games, didn't bowl as well, probably in the second game, in this third game. But his bowling is, he suffered some injuries. Actually, he did bowl well. He only bowled 6 overs in that third game for 1 wicket at 3.83 and over. So Josh Hazelwood is a bright spot for Australia. I think one of the positives coming out of this ODI series. I think negative for Australia is the fact that they couldn't probably rest Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazelwood. I thought those two players would have gotten some important, gotten a chance to put their legs up as they have Australia have the Ashes coming down. They should have given them a chance to kind of take a break, and relax the rest of the way. And of course, they do have the T20 series, which one of these guys are in that squad, but I'm not sure they will play. But I think that would be the only sort of damper, or the only sort of negative that I would think for Australia coming out of this series. As for India, positives for India first and foremost is the positives are Rohit Sharma made runs. I mean, he made runs, and he made runs different ways. I mean, he made 73, and I said in the first episode of BCN Sports on the Boundary, I said that Rohit Sharma 73 in that second game. I mean, he got really lucky. But he grinded and he battled and he made a fighting 73. And then that 73 then launched him to 121 not out in that third game. So I think from India's perspective, Rohit Sharma putting big runs on the board is huge and big thing for them. And also Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli putting runs on the board is also a big deal for them. So those are important positives for India. Why? Because there's a lot of discussions, a lot of rumors about retirement of these two players, and we know they're riding close to the sunset, and they're riding, close to hanging it up. But they're not there yet, and I expect them to be in that ODI series against South Africa coming up here in a few weeks in India. And who knows? I mean, if they play well, you don't just get rid of these players. But what would have happened if they had failed with the bat in that third ODI? Then I suspect it would be an easier chance to kind of phase them out and move on to the next group of batsmen, the Jaiswal of the worlds and others. But the fact that Rohit Sharma ended as a player of the series with 202 runs. And Virat Kohli made that impressive 74 runs not out. And, means that now fans of cricket, Indian cricket fans of Virat Kohli, fans of Rohit Sharma will look forward to that South Africa series, knowing that their middle order it did do well in their last game. And that series will be in India. So there's a lot of cricket to happen between now and then, but it's a good positive for India to have those two men playing and scoring runs as usual, and we'll get into the numbers here in a second regarding him. Another positive for India is that Hashish Raina took the criticism, took the negative comments, took all the challenges and all the mud slinging that was thrown at him by myself also included, as one of those criticizers, as one of those persons who thought he didn't belong in this group in the playing 11. And he came back full force in that third game. So that's a competitor, and that's something that is important for India to have. So Hashish Raina, big up yourself. Congrats, youth. So those are the positives for India. Negative for India. Let's see, losing the series. The third game you won, but I mean, there's probably some bit of scenario there where it was already done and dusted. India should not have relinquished or let go of one of those two games of the first time. We wanted that last game to be the series decider. So that's a negative from an India perspective. Should have won one of those first games. Those bats didn't came. Those batsmen didn't turn up early, and the bowling wasn't up to scratch earlier on in the first part of the series. Indian fans traveled, Sea of Blue traveled, and I know a lot of them left disappointed in those first two games. So, those are negatives for India. Krishna has to figure out, you can't bowl short ball all the time, Bregin. It's not going to be something that is going to be a long-term solution. He has to rely less on versatility regarding his bowling. Cannot keep the short ball going, because especially in the Australian conditions, you will get hit. So Krishna, I thought, needs to mix it up a little bit with his variety regarding the bowling. Other negatives, there are questions about Gambhir's coaching and his decision making regarding how he plays or puts some people to bat. I will leave that one for a later date. I did brought it up after the first game, but he won this after the second game. I did brought it up, but he won this game, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I still not a fan of Akshar Patel as what happened in the second game, but in front of KL Rahul. But I'll leave that alone because I didn't see that happening the first game. Hardik Pandya, he wasn't there, but also he wasn't involved in the series, but he looms large over this Indian ODI team. And, this Indian white ball cricket, he's such a good cricketer. And, let's see what happens. Let's see. I think he suffered an injury, so he was out of the series, but he's such a good player for them, with not just with bat, but with ball and a feeling. So that's the conclusion of the Australia-India ODI series. Australia won the series 2-1. The teams will now turn their attention to the T20 format of the series, the T20 leg. They will play 5 T20 games. First game is October 29th. Second game is October 31st. Third game is November 2nd. November 6th is the fourth, and November 5th. November 8th is the fifth game. What to expect from this T20 series? I really don't know. I'm just gonna enjoy and watch this game. Both of course India is the T20 champs. They won the T20 last T20 World Cup, which I attended here in the West Indies. There will probably be some things that India wants to get rectified as they get closer to the next T20 World Cup slated for next year. But I am looking forward to the series. As for Australia did do well in the T20 series against the West Indies. They beat the brakes off the West Indies. Actually, pretty much everyone do well against the West Indies. So that's like not really a benchmark. But I can't remember if Australia played South Africa in a T20 series. But I think they did. I just have to look back on it. But yeah, so I'll do a recap of the T20 series. No watch along, of course, because late night cricket, those are late night cricket. So the ODI series is done and dusted for this Australia India leg of the ODI series done and dusted. Australia victors 2-1 over India. But I have to acknowledge the greatness of these two players before I take leave. I bid this ODI series farewell. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. I'm a fan of cricket. And it pains me sometimes to give Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma their flowers, or their, as the kids would say, their acknowledgements, or their accolades, because they are excellent batsmen. And I'm jealous as a West Indian cricket fan not to have some metric or some measure of a similar batsman or two batsmen in our current West Indies team. But these two players, it's been an absolute joy, and it will be a joy to continue to watch them bat, as long as they're not batting against the West Indies. It's a joy to watch them play last night in that game against Australia. And when you look at the numbers of the accomplishment, and these are just some of the high-level numbers I want to highlight, the accomplishments of these two players batting. The numbers: Virat Kohli, 14,255 runs, is the second highest in ODI. He passed Kumar Sangakkara in ODI. Has the second highest score in ODI cricket, 50 overs cricket. 14,255 runs. Let that sink in. Of course, the man who sits at the helm is the one, Sachin Tendulkar, with 18,000 plus runs. Virat Kohli passed a legend in Kumar Sangakkara, who was a great batsman himself. But Virat Kohli, the king Virat Kohli, now moves into second place. So that's a monumental achievement last night, as he scored that 74 runs to pass Kumar Sangakkara as the second highest run getter in ODI cricket. Rohit Sharma, 9 ODI hundreds against Australia. 9 ODI hundreds against Australia. He scored 121 not out last night. And, Australia is no slouch. A man scoring 9 ODI hundreds against Australia is absolute. You have to be top level, top shelf batsman. And Rohit Sharma showed all of his repertoire, his entire repertoire last night in that 121 runs knock against Australia. He scored 9 ODI hundreds against them. And I'm sure there will be some Australian bowlers who will like, I'll be happy to see him retire, move on into the sunset. One other nugget and one other stats that I want to highlight: Virat and Rohit partnership. These men have played together and batted together for a long time. We've seen them batted together on many occasions, digging and plotting and setting up long innings. But something I want to highlight is that Virat and Rohit partnership, 1,455 runs in ODI against Australia. That's the second highest ODI partnership against a team. Their second highest ODI partnership against a team, and only behind the legendary Desmond Haynes and Richie Richardson of the West Indies against Pakistan, which is, I think their partnership is 1,483 runs against Pakistan. So Virat and Rohit's partnership in runs in ODI is absolutely impressive. These two batsmen, and they showed it last night during that game, getting in, finding their groove, really feeding off each other, running between the wicket, picking up the shots, playing the shots well. And and I think in the post-match press conference, when they did the interviews together, I did the press conference together, you can see the level of respect and admiration that both players have for each other. And that is something that is important if you're going to have these sort of achievements together as batsmen partnership. So Virat and Rohit partnership, 1,454 runs, 1,454 runs in ODI against Australia. The second highest against a single team of the first is Desmond Haynes and Richie Richardson of the West Indies against Pakistan. So that is the conclusion of the Australia versus India ODI leg of the series. Australia again won the series 2-1. And so now they'll move to the T20 format of the series, where the first T20 is on October 29th, and then the second one is October 31st. Then they move to November 2nd, the 6th, and 8th for the remaining T20 games. All right, now let's step away from men's cricket and look at women's cricket here for a few minutes. And more specifically, the Women's World Cup. We have to get to the Women's World Cup. There was a big game in the Women's World Cup. And let's get the Women's World Cup up here. What did I get? Let's get the Women's World Cup up. Took me a while there to get that up. And finally, ICC Women's ODI World Cup. Big game in the Women's World Cup. These are pretty much the two big teams in this tournament. The group leader and defending champion Australia defeated South Africa. They just defeat Australia. They beat the brakes off Australia. I mean, let's just put it the way it was. They defeated Australia, defeated South Africa emphatically. They bowled out South Africa for 97 runs. And the thing that is impressive about this victory is none other than Alana King's performance. Alana King took 7 for 18 in 7 overs. Let's look at the numbers, and I could put them up, but I just want to kind of read through them. King claimed the best Australian figures in women's ODI. Alana King, that is. And the first 7-wicket haul at a Women's World Cup. Across both men and women, King's figures 7 for 18 puts her in second place. So across men and women's game, King's figure of 7 for 18 puts her in second place, just behind Glenn McGrath, 7 for 15 against Namibia. And I watched some of this game. Well, there wasn't much to watch because the game ended pretty quickly. I was a bit extremely surprised at the dominance that how Australia dominated South Africa in this game. The crazy thing for me is that South Africa had a pretty good start. They were 42 for 2, or 42 for 1. Or 40 for 1 or something like that, with Laura Volvert, pretty much setting the base for South Africa. And so the fact that, Laura got out and then the wheels just came off, and the wheels fell off pretty quickly. How you go from 42 or 40 for 1 and then get bowled out for 97 runs? That doesn't make any sense. But it's also credit and salute to Alana King's achievement. So Alana King, 7 for 18 from 7 overs. Big up yourself, Alana King. Now, what does this mean for the landscape of things is that Australia dominated the round-robin format of this Women's World Cup. They've moved into the semi-final. Of course, South Africa also advanced to the semi-final. Those are the top 2 teams. England is the other semi-finalist. India is also into the semi-final. So it's not official. Some sources has it official, but the ICC website doesn't have it official, so I'm not going to go ahead and show it. But I think it's a formality, is that India will definitely place Australia in semi-final number 2, and then England will play South Africa in semi-final number 1. And I think I might do a preview of those 2 games. I'm not sure, but the Women's World Cup, it's probably gonna be more than likely Australia. I mean, they're the defending champion. Beth Mooney made 42 runs, I think, in this 98 runs chase. It's hard to see somebody beating this Australian team, but let's see. Hopefully, Shrimte Mandani have to battle out our skin and make a big total for Australia for India to have a chance in that semi-final against Australia. But before that, India needs to play Bangladesh tomorrow. I also think England plays New Zealand to round out the round robin leg of this tournament. And then they push into the semi-finals. All right, so, next video I will drop will be about Women's World Cup. And, of course, West Indies is getting ready to play Bangladesh in the T20 tournament. We'll probably do a preview of that. Also, England is playing New Zealand tonight in an ODI series. So the ODI series starts off in New Zealand. I will watch a bit of that game. Of course, West Indies will travel to New Zealand next, and England will then head to Australia for the Ashes. So I will be keeping an eye on that game. So I may or may not drop a video. Won't drop a video tomorrow because tomorrow is Ball Chat weekly at 5 p.m. But Monday again, I will drop on the cricket video on the latest update. But again, I will leave today's show with a salute to the two legends themselves. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. The man them bad. They are bad. They're bad as in good. They're excellent at their job. Big up yourself. Big up Virat. Big up King Kohli. Yes, I'm trying to make friends with Virat Kohli now since I criticize him. All right, that's it for this episode of On the Boundary. Again, if you want us to cover something here at BCN Sports on the Boundary, shoot us an email. I just leave it in the comment section. Just leave it, share the video, let us know your thoughts. Let us know what we're doing wrong. Let us know what we can improve. Let us know if we're talking a bag of foolishness. Also, give us credit where we can. Our objective here is to bring you cricket, and cricket always. Lovely, lovely cricket. Connect with us on all social media platforms. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a wonderful Saturday. Later.